Bitch, let me tell you how my life just came full circle.
Cause I ain't leaving alone. Feel like I could be on this place. We both know that we're grown. That's why I wanna know. How many drinks would it take you to leave with me? Yeah, you look good and I got money, but I don't wanna waste my time.
Anyway, I'm dead ass meant to go change the shirt. But anyway, hi. Welcome to my bubble where we do a little bit of adulting, a little bit of healing, and a little bit of creating. We back on spiritual studies. I know it's been a minute. I know. There's been a lot going on. Well, we back. Let me tell you. There's a lot to talk about, so let's just get right into it. We're focusing, we focused on numerology today. We are studying the numerology of the number 7. Okay. Now, from watching other videos and watching my fellow spiritual folk and just, I kept hearing that the number 7 is like a teacher. It's the teach, like the life path 7s. That's the teacher, that's the mentor, that's the one that others seek out for advice. 7 people are normally away from the crowd. They're, outliers, if you will. They're very like, you won't catch me, like you won't catch me outside, you won't catch me around all them people, you won't catch me at that party, as well as old soul energy. Been an old soul literally since birth. We can get into that story another time though. It's related to music and it's related to me tapping my foot literally as an infant. Others seek me out for advice. When I tell you, am, for majority of my life, I've been everybody's therapist. But I was like, you know what? And I kept hearing, long story short, I kept hearing all these things and I was like, nah, let's look into this because do you know my name? Like, how are you telling me all of this about myself right now? It's because I'm a life path 7, but we'll get there. Per usual, I got my notes. Duh, that's what I'm looking down at. So don't worry about it. The number 7 is said to represent a quest for knowledge, right? And apparently it is significant in virtually every religion. So like the 7 days of creation in the Bible and the 7 basic chakras in every Eastern tradition, I was like, okay, I see it. Well, but me, I don't particularly care about religion, but, right? No offense to anybody who is deeply involved in religion. So I was on Numerology.com, right? I just did a Google search and Numerology.com, I was like, Numerology.com, I'm focusing on numerology, 2 plus 2 is 4. So here we are. Here's what I learned. Numerology.com says, when the number 7 is involved, we are taken on a great quest for answers and truth. How was that? Ooh. Okay, come on now. Now 7, okay, quick side note. I had done a few, or I don't know if I wrote down notes from what I heard other people say, or if I looked it up and I had like a few previous notes or whatever, but so a few of those are thrown in here. So 7 combines the hardworking number 4 with the mystical and creative number 3. 7, duh, right? So 7 is both deep and wise. 7 is not satisfied with surface level explanations or surface level info that's very like frivolous, aka facetious, lighthearted, superficial, senseless, if you don't know what frivolous means. 7 apparently takes an intellectual approach to life rather than an emotional approach. And I was like, that makes so much sense. That's why it was so easy for me to turn off all of my emotions while going through all of my traumas. I was like, duh. I'm smart. I've been smart. I can focus on being smart. Fuck emotions. I was like, duh, that's how that happened. Okay. Here's how we're starting the circle here. Right? But 7 is apparently more intuitive than anything, and that like guides the way. I was like, okay, period. Now the strengths associated with 7 people of the number 7. They are spiritual. Slow down. 2 7 people. There's always something deeper. There's always something more to see. There's always other, if you get me. Like religion, quote, religion is too limiting for 7 people. The connection to spirit makes experiences more mysterious / meaningful. It literally just said, me and religion, we don't vibe like that. And it was people tried very, very hard, very consistently to get me into religion. Very much grew up in a Christian household. I don't know like the different subsets or whatever. I just know it was under Christianity. As a child, when I would spend summers in North Carolina, you know, with the country folk, we in church every Sunday, all the time. You know what I did? I went right to sleep. I don't know. I mean, hey, me and my friend literally had a conversation one time of like, what's worse? Because she would be texting in church. She had texted me one time at church. And I'm like, bitch, you're at church too? Like, why are you texting me? Why are you texting in church? She was like, you be sleeping in church. Like, that's worse. I was like, I don't know if it is. Because in my mind, I was like, I feel like subconsciously it's still, you know, all ingrained in there. But me and church never got along because I never liked feeling like the preacher was preaching at me rather than talking to me. There's a difference. And I always felt like I was being preached at. So I always went to sleep. Every time. Even the times I tried to stay awake, I fell asleep. Me and religion, but that's just me. Another strength is being curious, apparently. 7s are interested in many topics and seek to absorb much knowledge. Now I've always been into a million different things, and I have always told people we can literally talk about anything. And we can talk about anything. We can talk about cars, we can talk about movies, we can talk about aliens, we can talk about the ocean, we can talk about wildlife, we can talk about finances, we can talk about the kitchen and cooking, we can talk about the universe, the cosmos, like we can talk about anything. I was watching a Jamal Rashad video, right? And he was talking about the different realms and how we don't just live like Earth is really planet Kai, but that's a whole different conversation, right? And he was talking about the reptilian race, and I was thinking about Men in Black, and I was like, I loved that movie. Like Men in Black was one of I could watch Men in Black religiously, right? He was talking about the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and even just in general in science and math and all those kinds of things. The Da Vinci Code, my freaking love that movie as a child. I took all the art classes to understand actually the art, and I'm an intellectual, so I was literally, long story short, I watched it recently, and having taken the art classes to know everything he was actually talking about, I took art history in high school, I knew what he was talking about. To have the math, and really to have the math background to really know what he's talking about, I was like, long story short, I followed the Da Vinci Code perfectly, I believe it. That's another conversation for another day as well. Jamal Rashad was talking about the Titan being held at bay in Bermuda, and it made me think of the Percy Jackson movie. I was like, bruh, like the second one, the Sea of Monsters. He mentioned sentient beings, and at the end of one of the Transformers movies, Optimus Prime is talking about freedom is the right of all sentient beings. I was like, bro, like it's all like what? People have always like called me knowledgeable, and I don't know, something about that never, not that it didn't sit right with me, but I don't know, I just no me gusta. I would rather people call me informed, because I don't know, I just feel like I'm not knowledgeable on things. Like, you ask me about about like politics and all the shit that's going on. You ask me who's in office right now, I can't tell you. You ask me like important knowledge that I should have, I really don't have. But I'm informed on a lot of different things. I'm informed on the ocean, I'm informed on wildlife, I'm informed on the cosmos, I'm informed in a financial way, I am informed on how to make things in the kitchen, how things should look while you're cooking. Like, I'm informed in baking, I'm informed in how to clean, I'm informed in how to put out a fire, how to give CPR, how to, how to take care of a child, like those kinds of things. But I don't know if that's, for me, I don't know if that's knowledge per se. I'm informed, if you will. He was talking about Allah and connecting it to like the 5 points in the star, and because he was like arm, leg, arm, head, and I was like, what? Side note, that blew my whole mind. I was like, is that really what that stands for? Because again, religion, I don't know, right? Then he was talking about the 5 points of the star, and like the fifth element, fire, water, earth, air. That's not in order, but fire, again, knowledge, I don't know the right order, but fire, water, earth, air, the fifth element being like the spirit element, took me to my favorite. Hello, you learn that in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Maybe not. I mean, I'm pretty sure they discuss it a little bit in Avatar, but the Legend of Korra, they really get into it, I'm pretty sure. He was talking about the movie Godzilla versus Kong, and to this day, I have never seen any of the other movies in the individual series. I've never seen any of the other Godzilla movies. I've never seen any of the other King Kong movies, but I did see Godzilla versus Kong. I don't know, I don't know. I wanted to see that movie. Something drew me to that movie, I guess. Hello? He was talking about the Kraken, and it took me to Aquaman. Like, it just, he was talking about The Wizard of Oz, and The Wizard of Oz been my favorite movie. The context of Wizard of Oz and like Space Jam, Space Jam classic, was he was talking about the different realms and how they how Hollywood and the ones in power, they don't have to tell you the truth if they like put it in your face or whatever. So he was talking about The Wizard of Oz, he was talking about Space Jam, those kinds of things, and all this. But by the time he got to this part of the conversation, I had already thought of Men in Black, Da Vinci Code, Percy Jackson, Transformers, because I like all those things. I was interested in all those movies. I watched those because I enjoyed those movies. I'm not a Marvel person. I, again, have not seen all of the Marvel movies, Captain America, Iron Man, everything. Never seen it. But I watched Aquaman. Even though I don't know what he is, but what DC, Marvel, I don't know, whatever. Again, not knowledgeable. But, he was talking about, moving on. Jamal Rashad was also talking about the Delta Realm, and I was like, bruh, the Delta Realm is the realm with the cone-headed mystics. Hello? Mystical Delta. Let me tell you about me and Delta. Delta is my favorite airline. I can argue anybody down. Delta is my favorite airline. Shout out to the Reds. Like, that's all I'm gonna say on that. But like, me and Delta, we like this. And I was like, of course, the Delta realm is the cone-headed mystics. And not for nothing, hold on. I have always had a thing about the shape of my head, because I feel like my head is like an oval, but like a circle at the same time. But it's like, I see the cone this way. That's crazy. The more you know. I'm a mystic, I'm an oracle, whatever. Right, and sorry, last thing he also was talking about, I get when I'm interested in things, I said we can talk about anything. I can talk for days. Another thing he was talking about how there's no hell, but like Hades was a real person. He was very like He kept mentioning Greek mythology and, again, put it in your face, but don't put it in your face. He's like, there's no hell, quote unquote, like the way we understand it to be, but there's a Hades. And I was like, bruh, come on, Greek mythology. I was like, yeah, again, me and religion, we never really like, you know, I connected, quote unquote, to certain aspects of heaven, but like hell never, like, not to say it like this, but it never like strike fear in my heart the way, it strikes fear in the heart of genuinely religious people. But I always, in the context of Greek mythology, I always believed in like Hades and not the underworld, but like the stream of souls and all those kinds of things. But I blamed it on / connected it to my interest in Greek mythology. Ha, little did I know. All that to say, 7 people are curious, they're interested in many topics. I literally just ran down like 10 different things that I'm interested in. Another strength is being analytical. Apparently, 7 people are an information sponge. But the real strength, quote, is sorting through what is found, being able to separate what's useful from what's meaningless, and identify facts from fiction. I'm a human lie detector. Let's leave it at that. We don't need to get more into it than that. There were also some quote unquote weaknesses. I say quote unquote because A, perspective. B, in the cosmos and the universe, there is no real like positive, negative, good, bad, So quote unquote weaknesses associated with 7 people / the number 7. 7 is reclusive. So 7 people spend most of their time in deep thought / in study, spiritual studies. Hello. And I'm literally always in my head. Like, that's one fun fact. If you know nothing else about me, just know I'm always in my head. That's why I can spend so much time alone. Me, I enjoy my company so much because I'm always in my head. My mind is a funny place. Apparently, 7 people, along in the context of being reclusive, 7 people don't put much importance on the lighter side of life. That gets me in trouble, stresses me out sometimes. You've seen it. I explained it. If you haven't seen it, I explained it in Learning to Take Baby Steps. If you haven't seen that, go watch that. Being reclusive, there's a lack of social interaction, which limits like life experiences, and makes 7 people unable to forge new friendships / romantic connections. Ain't that crazy? I don't remember which video, but I said never really been friendly, never been outside like that, never had I skipped in my friendship heartbreaks, go watch that if you haven't seen that. Never really been friendly, never been outside. I skipped all the weird friendship experiences. I skipped all of that. Do you see how the circle is continuing? Let's keep going. Next weakness, quote unquote, apparently is being secretive. 7 people are very comfortable holding the cards, close to the chest. Not in a way of like hiding damaging secrets, but more like they just don't want everyone to know everything. And I was like, yeah, that's right. That's exactly why I was never friendly like that. Like, I had no desire to be in the large cliques, high school, college, because everybody wants to know everybody's business, and that's how everybody's business gets spread around everywhere, because y'all are not even all really friends. Everybody don't gotta know my business. That's just that on that. And also, Numerology.com said, in the context of being secretive, so it's impossible, nothing's impossible, but it's impossible to genuinely connect with others if they never see the real you. And I was like, I guess, I agree. That's why I moved out here and made the decision that I'm going to put in the effort to make friendships. Because me, in particular, I am an ambivert. I have a very good balance, or I used to anyway, have a very good balance of like being outside, being social, being interactive, and very much being in my bubble, my energy. As an empath, I absorb a lot of energy very easily. So when I'm inside, I'm inside. How did I get there? What was my point with that? Oh, impossible to form connections. Yeah. So I don't get the connection. Moving on. Anyway, the last weakness, quote unquote, was apparently being suspicious. There's 7 people have an insatiable need to look beneath the surface, so they may upset a good thing by making assumptions or accusations or like digging for answers when there are no answers, you know? 7 people are always assuming there is more to the story when there isn't. This was like the only thing that I said is not particularly me, because I was thinking of it in the context of relationships and like friendships and connections and blah blah blah. That's the one thing. Like, I mean, once we have an established friendship and I feel like we're at a certain level, I pay attention to the shit that you do, but and like if you do things, I will get suspicious, but I'm just gonna take note and I'm gonna keep it pushing until I have enough things that I should be like, okay, what's going on here? But that was the only. I don't get suspicious. Like, I'm not. Look, everybody starts on the same level. Whether I know you, whether I don't know you, whether you're my mom's friend, whether you're one of my peers, whether you're in my class, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a neighbor, it don't matter. Everybody starts on the same level. Everybody starts with a clean slate, if you will. Whether you go up, I consider you cool. We can potentially become friends. We can hang out. Or from that base level, you go down. I consider you sneaky. I don't fuck with your energy. All that depends on you. But you start at the same base level as everybody else. So I don't really get suspicious. I very closely watch actions. But we'll get to that when we discuss that I'm a life path 7. Personality traits apparently associated with the number 7. Perceptive, intellectual, mysterious, spiritual, reserved, true, skeptical, solitary, introspective, aka like inward looking, and analytical. Check. Continuing the circle. Now, 7 in tarot and astrology. The 7th card in the tarot is what? The Chariot. The Chariot is what? On a quest. The Chariot uses focus and intention to drive energy towards purpose. Hello? And in astrology, apparently 7 is associated with Libra and Pisces. Libra is the 7th sign and apparently the symbol of unwavering truth. I don't think I know. I don't talk to any Libras, so I don't know if they're like blunt / always telling the truth or whatever, or telling you how it is, blah blah blah. They're an air sign. I'm an air sign. I fuck with them. And Pisces apparently is the most spiritual of the zodiac and encourages us to connect with everything deeper and greater than ourselves. So that's what I learned. Isn't that crazy? Now, let me finish the circle for you. Let me tell you how how reading all of that and learning all of this brought it full circle for me. Let me tell you. Like I said, I'm a life path 7, right? So exploring life gives me purpose. Since I'm a life path 7, like I'm always trying to figure something out. Does that not match up with everything we just said? Apparently 7s attract careers and jobs that allow you to be yourself. Go back. Attract careers and jobs that allow you to be by yourself or like to yourself. Hello, I work from home. I put curious eyes ? That was from the note, whichever other note I have. Curious eyes ? Wasn't one of the strengths curious? Me, I put curious eyes question mark because then under that I put my eyes are always scanning a room. I have to face the exit. I need to know everything. I people watch all the time. I need to see everything. Everything needs to be in my view. I have curious eyes. Like I really was thinking about that like when I was in college and I would be in the caf, people watching. Not my friends, not just people watching, my peers. With no desire to talk to them, to be in their lives, to know their business. I don't care. I just be watching. My eyes be scanning the room. I need to know what's happening. In case I gotta dip out, you know? I'm gonna peep it before anybody else peep it, so I gotta be paying attention. 7 people are also, life path 7 people are apparently are intuitive, and we sense things and like have this inner knowing. I've been saying forever that I'm psychic. Hello. And I very much don't need people. I have very much been reclusive my entire life. Thus far, I have quote unquote blamed it on, aside from like not being friendly, even with family members though, like people know I'm the one that's always in my room. People know you will not hear from me unless I have something to say, or unless you have something to say to me, then message me. It's always been very that. I don't need to be around people all the time. I can very much be in my energy, in my head, in my space, enjoying my own company. I could care less about the news that seems to matter to absolutely everybody else. That's why I'm really not that connected to social media. Like I be paying attention. I be up on the, because I live in this world, in this reality. So I be keeping up a little bit, but like I don't be keeping up with the shit that everybody else tells you about, because I don't care. Like it doesn't affect my life majority of the time, or in the context of like the news and everything, all the terrible things happening in the world. I don't keep up with that either. I'm aware of it because of like Twitter and the conversations that people have, but emotionally, energetically, I can't handle all that, nor do I have the desire to. I've never watched the news. Ever. I mean, not ever, let me not say it like that, but every time news comes on, turn TV off, go in my room, turn on the streaming apps, because I just, 7 people also apparently tend to be solitary creatures who have a lot to learn about relationships and vulnerability. Whew. I literally said to my twin flame when we were having a conversation. I didn't say it verbatim like this, but my point was, if you're comparing us, me and him, I'm a lot more mature than he is in a lot of different ways. But he emotionally, he's way more mature than me. Way more. I literally said these words to him. So when I saw that, I was like, bruh, but this is like not that long ago. So this was 2022. So now that was from a healed or semi-healed / a lot more self-aware perspective. I was like, yeah, I have a lot to learn about relationships. Been single my entire life. Never been, like I said in my friendship heartbreaks, never had a romantic heartbreak, like actual romantic heartbreak. Nah. I have a lot to learn. I was like, bruh, this is blowing my freaking mind. And how crazy is it? How crazy is it? I moved out in 7 months. I did the learning to take baby steps video because I have a note literally on my screen, right? Well, you can't see my laptop, but one of my notes on my screen, it says the 7 baby steps, and it's something I copied and pasted from something I saw somewhere, but it's a 7 baby steps relating to finances and like becoming more secure and more, but the 7 baby steps, right? Granted, that video was not about financial baby steps, but whatever, right? Moved out in 7 months. 7 baby steps. We're in, what month are we in? July, the 7th month. That was not intentional. I have not done spiritual studies in quite some time. I did not pick right now to go back in and start spiritual studies. And I have a list. Let me screenshot the list right now so I can remember to put it in. I have a list of literally a million other topics that I could have did spiritual studies on. But Spirit was like, nope. Let me not even say Spirit, like, but something I forget. I had heard it so many times, like in videos and things, that I was like, nah, let's look into this. Like, it's, let's look into this. I have a bunch of other things I could have looked up. I didn't have to start with Numerology of 7. But I'm a life path 7. Close the circle. Ain't that crazy? I didn't learn a lot about myself. It just brought it full circle for me. Like, okay. Not to say this is why I'm like this, but this helps understand why these were my experiences. Or not even. This helps explain, or this helps me understand my reactions to my experiences / my thought process / how I view the world. Ain't that crazy? Boy. And that's just me. If you're a life path 7, shout out to my life path 7. Put it in the comments. Does any of this relate to you? Is this your life? Does it sound like you? Should I have said your name in this? Hey, Stacy girl. This study kind of brought things full circle for me. And I'm here for that. But yeah, that's our spiritual studies for today. If you made it to the end of the video and you don't know me, hi. My name's Naori. Stick around. You love it here. Duh. Embrace being a star. Subscribe. Follow on my socials. Now, I post every Tuesday and Friday. That's it. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
I'd rather be smoking